Hello and welcome to Nerdarchy. For nerds, by nerds, I'm Nerdarchy Steve, and today I am joined by all these fine nerds: Carlos Rivera, Vera Robin R. Miller, and Stephen Partridge. All their links are down in the description. We're going to play some 5e D&D. And I mean, me and Ted and Carlos are coming off of PAX Unplugged, so it feels like it's been much longer since I've seen all of you than it has been. I feel like a month has gone by, but I know it was just last week.
Didn't we
With
have last week off?
No, we
It
played
was the
last
week
week.
before that. All
It
right.
was the week before that. With that, I'm just gonna throw it to our illustrious dungeon master, Robin.
Okay, well then in that case, before I turn the world on, I'm going to roll a d4 if I can find one. This is odd.
They don't
Uh,
exist.
See who's gonna do the recap. Well, who's gonna start the recap rather. And that's a 1, so that will be Ted and Sin. Introduce your character. Tell us about what happened last week.
Absolutely. So I am Nerdarchy as Ted. I'll be playing Layson or Finn Trisrel, the half-elf shadow sorcerer. We're level 10, baby. Woo! So last session was all about the party, and I'll give some of the broad strokes, and if people want to fill in some of the finer details thereafter, feel free. But for a while, my grandfather, which we did we asked some favors for. He's like, I need you to do something for me, and I'll let you know what that is, later. We come back. He says, I want you to go to a party. Now, I should have had the insight to realize that something shady was going on, because asking Sin to go to a party, that's like, all right, that's not work, that's fun. So we go to the party, we have fun, and almost from moment one, there are lots of what appear to be eligible females, and it seems that my grandfather's trying to set me up. And since we screwed up the setup for my mother, maybe he's trying to correct some things, but it didn't work out because I only had eyes for the guests that kind of came with, and after I kind of schmoozed and talked to everybody else, I kind of hung out with Talus, and my grandfather got all kinds of ticked about that until some illusion sorcerer went and did a seeming on him to make it look like he was having a grand old time no matter what he did. So some other stuff happened, and I'm gonna throw it to that aforementioned illusionist, Carlos.
What is good internet? My name is Carlos Rivera, and I run the Volcanic Night YouTube channel. And yes, just like Ted mentioned, I applied an Instagram filter on Glayson's grandfather to make sure no matter how he looked, he was looking great all the time. Yeah, and I have to say, I had a bunch of fun throwing a mess load of illusion magic to handle a problem that was pretty wild. And I guess the person to talk best about that problem would be indeed Stephen.
Okay, hi everybody. I'm Stephen Partridge playing Prudence, our tiefling druid. I recall this party where Galayson's grandfather had the Instagram filter applied, and there was a hag encroaching on the party, trying to make stuff gross and weird with like changing the walls into trees and like making the place flood. And then Unga like opened a bag of holding to absorb the water and make it more managed. It was a grand old time, and we spun that beautifully, like it was all on purpose. And it was just so much fun. I'm gonna pass it to Dave before I take everything.
All right, so it's a good party. First of all, before I even get to that, I'm Nerdarchy Dave. I'm playing Unga, who is a Beastmaster Ranger with his entourage of Sheldon the Giant Crab, his beast companion Shelly, Sheldon's familiar now, a regular crab, and also we have Fernando in tow, our resident pet mimic. But yeah, so it's a great party when it starts in the prime material plane, goes to the feywild, ends up in and then ends in the prime material plane. There were dancing bears, there were trees, there was all kinds of things. There might have been deals made with hags. No one can say for certain. Certain things been alluded to by certain people, but I don't think there's any proof or evidence that actually happened. So, with that, yeah, we averted some catastrophes and had a lot of fun. You should go back and watch it if you haven't seen it.
Now I will remind you that Unga did make an illicit deal of sorts, and when we last left off,
Allegedly.
Prudence was in the process of kicking his door in and saying you did what?
Mhm.
And that is where I left you off, and that is where we are picking back up.
So yeah, Prudence just slams the door open. You did what?
I danced with a bear.
No, I am not talking about the bear. I'm talking about the hag.
What about the hag, Prudence, your sister?
She knows you and made a deal with you?
What do you mean? She knows all of us. She was in the mirrors. She put the crawdads in the wash basin. She did all kinds of things before the party even started. She knows all of us.
Do I believe him?
That's completely up to you.
I feel like Prudence with her insight would know you are lying.
Yeah.
And she just stares like that angry mom stare for a good 2 minutes. And you see that her eyes start glowing a little bit, with this blue purple light just in the darkness of your doorway.
Is there a window in this room?
Yes.
I dive out
It
it.
is.
Dive
What?
out the window.
All right, well, you're on the second floor, so I'm gonna need some kind of check to stop you from taking damage. What are you gonna do?
That's fine either way. I'll make a athletics check to jump. But yeah,
Right.
he's gonna be like, "Oh, Prudence is mad at us," and then just goes high pitched voice and a 27 to jump out the window.
Oh yeah, you jump out the window. You hit the ground running. You are just pretty much gone, leaving Sheldon to deal with the fallout. I will have you narrate what goes on with Sheldon really quick.
Yes,
And then I will
absolutely.
get right back to you and let you know what is happening in the moment.
So Sheldon reaches behind him onto his back and says, "Meet Shelly."
Shelly.
Yeah, I have a familiar now
Why?
because I wanted a little friend, so now I have one.
Is this the deal? This is the thing you got.
I'm a little vague on deals and what you're talking about. Like, what kind of deal? Like, I'm a crab. When I want something like this, I go and get it usually. But Unga went and got this for me.
Sheldon, or Shelly waves a little claw.
How could you let him make a deal with a hag? Do you know how dangerous those are?
It's like me, but little.
Yes, I'm aware. We could have found you a dozen in any port city.
Yes, but this one talks to me in my brain.
That's not necessarily a good thing.
And I can, if I focus really hard, I can see through her eyes.
I know how familiars work.
Oh,
Look,
good. Could you give me some lessons? I'm kind of new to this.
I could. Look, Sheldon, I need you to understand something. Unga is susceptible to trusting people. And not everyone is trustworthy.
Yeah, but I've seen what happens. He trusts them. They make him mad. He cuts their heads off.
But hags don't work that way.
They don't have heads?
They have heads, but it is significantly harder to kill them after you cut the head off.
Oh, that's going to be disappointing for him.
Yes, it is. Very much so. By the way, she is not making an effort to be quiet, so I don't know if they'll hear what is going on or not.
Is Unga in danger?
He very well may be now.
Well, he's just got to do one thing.
And that is?
Cut off a head.
Of?
Somebody named later, but it can't be anyone he's related to. We should definitely get Talus married to Sin right away. Because we like her.
No. But he doesn't know who it is. That's the problem. Giving a hag a blank check is like giving Galayson access to a sex shop. It's just something that is not done.
Well, I mean, what's one more head? I've been with Unga a long time, and he's cut off a lot of heads, and it's worked out okay so far.
Perhaps. I mean, he is undeniably innocent in a lot of ways and ignorant in a lot more ways, and I just worry for him.
I mean, what could go wrong?
Don't ask that. That is asking fate to do something. Just we have to watch him and watch out for him.
Okay,
Because-
okay. I always watch out for Unga. We've been buds for a long time.
Yes, but this will not have been the last you've heard of this hag.
Did he ever tell you about the time how that fisherman was going to eat me?
No, he hasn't.
He didn't cut off his head, but he did punch him and take me.
That sounds about right. A lot of violence for a little good.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
Yes. I mean, I know he's grown up and I know he's technically an adult, but is it wrong of me to still think of him a bit like a baby brother that, I don't know, perhaps the doting comes because I didn't do it earlier in life.
Maybe. I don't know. He's always landed on his feet and been able to take care of himself and me. And usually, I mean, he comes around eventually and figures out what's good for him and what's not. And if you would have seen what he did to GF, you might not think he's so innocent after all. But I don't want to tell his story. That's for him to tell.
Okay. Well, if nothing else, hopefully I've made enough of a point that he'll bring it up later and perhaps we can talk about the do's and don'ts of hags. I may have also, in my frustration, accidentally let slip what his name was, which is in itself a problem.
Well, that's not actually really his name.
The way name magic works is a little different from how you might think. Your true name is who you are. It doesn't have to be your given name.
Oh.
It's who you are in your soul.
That might be a bigger issue then.
Yes.
Well, I'll let you magic people take care of it. Magic seems like something a hag seems like something magic people should take care of.
Yes. We can certainly try. If nothing else, I've been just developing a few new spells here and there. So we'll see if those can help. Who knows? Maybe we can get this removed from him like a curse, if that's all it is. But I suspect it works differently than that.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't a curse. They made a deal. And I got Shelly, and he shows you Shelly again. Shelly
Is he a
waves at you.
warlock then? Is it one of those type of deals?
I don't know what a warlock is.
Oh,
Can I be a warlock? Am I a warlock? Do warlocks have familiars? And he holds up Shelly again.
yes, they do sometimes.
I'm a warlock.
Oh,
I don't
that
think
is-
Unga's a warlock. He doesn't have a familiar. I'm just his brother. I have a familiar. I'm a warlock.
that is not a thing we want to shout, especially not in a public place. Also, probably generally not in this house, judging by Sin's grandfather.
You don't think he likes warlocks?
No. Warlocks are highly stigmatized among the magical community. If you think
Oh.
they consider sorcerers dangerous, don't even mention a warlock.
Oh, it was so bad before when I just tasted delicious with drawn butter and lemon. Now I'm stigmatized for being a warlock as well.
Yes, most likely if you are a warlock. But
And I'm star touched, right? We're still all star touched.
oh yes, very much so.
I think I have more titles than any crab alive.
You probably do.
Sheldon is now the prime crab.
At least Shelly is very cute, and she sort of like, pets a little bit with her finger.
She definitely pinches you.
Oh, well.
She's still learning how to use those. Or
is
maybe
that
she
one?
just likes using them. I'm not entirely sure.
I wonder where Sin and Cassios are. I hope they're not outside and run into Unga. He's a little bit too frightened, I think, to be encountered. I don't want one of them to get punched.
Oh, he just
Speaking of
does that
which.
sometimes when consequences show up.
About how long past guest departing is all of this happening?
Prudence, you tell me.
It was when he went to bed because he had just like gotten ready to go to sleep when she slammed the door open.
Okay. So when did you go to bed, Unga? Like about how long after the guest left?
I think like we all went back to the room and immediately made our sleep pile with the bear. Well, we tucked the bear in the bed and then we slept on the floor.
That's right. You did tuck the bear is still in there. That's really funny. Okay. So that would have been, I mean, probably not long after. So what is Sin up to?
All right, so Sin was probably just wandering. So he would probably encounter Unga out on the grounds, not so much Sheldon and Prudence inside.
Okay. Cassios, what would you be doing?
I would more than likely be down in the hall area looking at the walls again, how they turn into trees. They rescinded back to regular walls yet or no?
No, they're still trees.
I'm totally still examining them, reminiscing of home then.
Okay. Well, I will pause you there and leave you at that and then allow Sin and Unga to speak to one another for a moment. Unga.
So you would probably I don't know where Unga is trying to go in your fleeing, but Sin is just kind of like outside, being somewhat aloof, staring off into the darkness.
Yeah, so I think you like see like Unga like basically dive out the window into a tuck and roll on the ground, and he leaps up, looks around, and then begins trying to slink off.
Unga, what are you doing, dear brother?
Can't talk right now. Prudence is really mad.
I look to the window. Do I see Prudence like looking down, or does there not appear to be any pursuit?
Nope, no pursuit. She was talking with Sheldon immediately after. So you might hear Sheldon talking and going like, look at Shelly and stuff, but like
and yelling, I'm a warlock.
Well, not yet. Unga, you do not appear to be pursued.
Oh, that's good. Prudence is really fast. She can fly.
So if you're worried about our sister flying, why would you jump out the window?
I didn't think about it. I just started moving. And besides, if I could hide, I'm good at hiding sometimes.
So why would she be chasing you? What's going on?
She's upset because I got Sheldon a familiar. Well, a little friend, but Sheldon says it's his familiar. And I feel like it's at that point we hear Sheldon yell, "I'm a warlock" from the window.
How did you go about getting Sheldon a friend?
Oh, the usual ways. It was cool. He's got one. He's really happy about it. He named her Shelly. They're gonna do all kinds of things together. He's he's gonna teach her everything she'll ever need to know about being a crab.
Okay. Did you do anything like usual ways or not a norm for something like overly large crabs?
No. I didn't do anything crazy or anything. I just gonna do the normal stuff I usually do, and Sheldon gets Shelly. It's no big deal.
Well, the normal stuff you do is, usually go out into the woods and talk to animals.
Well, that and I cut off a lot of people's heads.
Okay, well, I mean that's true, but I wouldn't say like that's the regular thing. You're
I
definitely
mean, it seems like over the years, it's definitely happened a lot.
not as much as you think.
We
Dear
just cut off the head of an angel like 3 days ago.
Yes, but they were an asshole.
And I was going to cut off the head of those tieflings too, but the one makes really good traps, and Prudence seemed to like the other one. So we let them keep their heads, and they're going to work for
See?
somebody.
Not as much as you think.
That's true.
So
So what are you doing? Where's Talus at? I thought you guys were really hitting it off. Have you ever thought about settling down maybe with just like one person? You could be like a mom and a dad, maybe have some kids.
that has actually crossed my mind.
That's a great idea. You should make that happen right away. This is a great place for a wedding. Look at this courtyard.
So from being on the outside, like, does it look normal, or do we still see essence of feywild around us?
For the most part, it looks normal, but there are a few flowers that definitely were not out here before the party happened, and it kind of spreads outward. And as you're looking around for signs of the Feywild, give me a perception check.
Oh, jeez. Many things that sin can do. Perception's not really one of them. Well, I rolled decent. That's a 17.
Oh, yes. You see a pair of yellow eyes staring at you from through one of the bushes.
If I had to gauge with my less than stellar intellect, would I say that they are larger eyes than mine, smaller eyes than mine?
Oh, definitely smaller. They're Lurza's.
Is Lurza one of the tieflings?
No, Lurza is
One of the kids.
Unga's big little sister.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to kind of, continue the conversation, but just kind of like nod my head at Unga in the direction of the eyes.
Do I see what he's talking about?
Yes.
I mean, you remember, dear brother, about the temple and I kind of like reach into my layers of shirts, and I pull out what appears to be a large shard of a mirror that has been like framed. This was the mirror that you broke.
I think Unga like visibly recoils a little bit when he sees the shard.
I make sure that I don't hold it at an angle that he can see into it.
Yeah, but he knows what it is.
We saw very different things in that. I don't know what it was that you saw. I don't
want to talk about it.
And I'm not going to try to pry. From the moment I saw, and I put the mirror away, my mindset has changed, and I'm aware of a different course of life for me. Maybe one day that will be the thing, but I highly doubt that I'm going to instantly marry the first woman that's shown an interest. She might be the one for me. She might not. Only time will tell.
Maybe you should do it just in case.
Why should I do it just in case?
You would have missed. You want to miss out. Would want to miss out on an opportunity. Like, what if she finds someone else between now and then? What if someone cuts off their head by accident because reasons?
What are you trying to say, dear brother?
Well, in order to get Sheldon his familiar, I had to promise the hag I would cut off a head. But
Okay.
good news, it can't be anyone that I'm related to.
Was there any other stipulations?
I think that was it. But there was a lot of drinking. There was a bear. There was a lot going on that night.
2-night.
Well, I can't and wouldn't force the issue. I am fairly certain that if you've made this deal, this bargain, you've got some wiggle room. I doubt that this thing is going to force your hand or take control of you.
Yeah, I don't think it works like that. He says, not so sure.
And worst case scenario, if they try to make you do something you don't want to do, well, then maybe we track down the hag and cut their head off instead.
I mean, I don't think you can ever go wrong with cutting off the head of your enemies.
So I'd rather entertain that than to push the issue with Talus and say, hey, on the off chance that this bad bargain is leading in the direction of you, do you want to get married now? That just doesn't sound full of romance.
Well, you don't have to tell her that part.
Well, I'm trying to be a little bit more honest with things. I know
if you say so.
It's not quite the past that I'm known for.
But anyway, if Prudence asks you if you've seen me, say he didn't see me.
Yes.
I'm going to go for a walk and wait for
conversation about being honest, and the first thing you ask me to do is lie. All right. Well, I will find a way to get around the situation. Enjoy your walk.
And with that, I will just head off into the woods.
And I'll look over to the eyes. Are they still there?
Oh, they disappear as soon as he does.
Okay.
Cassius,
Yes.
still looking at the walls?
Yeah, absolutely. I guess I am indeed looking at the wall, still admiring the thoughts of home. And out of curiosity, is Galayson's grandfather still in the area with his Instagram filter?
He's trying to clean a little bit, like not seriously because they have servants for that, but he is walking around and doing his best to dispel what's happening, and it just isn't working.
So I come over to him.
Smiling.
Yeah, I bet he's smiling, all right. Happy fellow. So I walk over to him and say, hi. Didn't get a chance to meet your acquaintance. My name is
You're the other brother.
Indeed, yes, I am. Cassius, as I extend my hands.
Yes, I see.
Oh, all right.
My name is Theodonis, and he shakes with you. And he's still smiling. And it doesn't even look terse or anything, but he definitely sounds terse, and it's making for a very strange effect.
Oh, I couldn't help but to notice that you tried to dispel this for a while, and you seem to be having a little bit of trouble. Do you require any assistance?
If you think you can do it, be my guest.
Literally, and dispel it.
No, the trees are still there.
No, I'm talking about the guise of him. His filter.
Okay, and then you get his actual face, but he looks around and he's like, I see the trees are still here.
Oh, apology. I thought you were talking about your appearance. But yes, these
I'm sorry, what
trees-
did you do to my appearance?
Nothing, sir! Nothing. You see, there was something on your shoulder. I just make sure you brushed it right off. I'm assuming I have to give a
Make a
deception roll.
deception check.
Absolutely. 22.
Yeah, you're lucky. You're lucky because his insight was 20.
Nice. Nice. Oh, great.
Nice. Like,
Oh,
alright,
man.
my apologies. It just really seemed otherwise for a moment. I'm just trying to get the trees out of my ballroom.
I get it. This was brought on by magic a little bit greater than what we can produce at the moment, but it shouldn't be permanent. That's why I'm spending some time here as much as I can just to admire home, more or less.
Ah, I see. Well, I will be looking into it.
Of course, of course. As much as I want to be reminded of home, I guess you do have a structure to maintain.
Well, it doesn't seem to have compromised the structural integrity of the house. I just can't have my ballroom be a forest.
Absolutely. Perhaps you think sometime we could probably get together and get a chance to learn spells of each other.
Ah, you're a wizard.
Indeed.
Well, I never turned down an opportunity to learn something.
Well, if you believe I have something to offer and teach, I would find it most gracious to trade spells.
What is your school?
It's a school of illusionary.
And he nods. I am primarily an abjurer. Which is why it's odd that I can't get these trees to go away, but that's fine.
Yeah.
So did only the trees remain, or is it still like somewhat of a swampy ground? Like how much is receded to normality?
Well, he's managed to dispel the water, but the trees are still here. It's just like a forest on the inside of the ballroom, and it looks pretty cool, actually, but apparently he doesn't think so.
It's a man of terrible taste. Clearly.
People might think we're wood elves.
Wow. Wow. I thought we were past that in 2022.
It's not 2022 in game.
Right.
See Sin's backstory.
Will do. But as I see, I kind of want to get an inside roll on him to see what's eating him up. Besides,
Okay.
I know you can't crit those things, but nat 20 for 24.
Yeah. So you know exactly what's going on with him. He had a plan for how tonight was going to go. He was, trying to marry off one of his kids, right? Because technically Sin is also one of his kids, even if his daughter technically birthed him, but like it didn't work. And then there was the human, and now the ballroom is a mess, and just things didn't go according to plan, so now he's frustrated.
Completely. So yeah, I definitely Cassio's definitely picked up from what he's definitely picking it up from being around Galayson the entire time and helping manage the situation. But I guess I'll let him know that though things may have not gone the way you think they may have gone tonight, trust me when I say this is the best of many things that could have happened tonight.
I'm aware of the hag. I understand this could have been worse. but the whole purpose of the party was trying to drag our family's name out of the gutter.
Is there any chance that I could have wandered in as he says that?
Yes.
But before that happens, all you hear is, I'm a warlock.
Grandfather, there are many ways to rise above whatever past issues are out there. It is evident that you are not happy with how things went. But if you had taken a moment to look beyond how you wanted things to go and saw how people responded to how it did go, people will be talking about this party for a very long time.
I suppose they
Mhm.
will.
And before you get the next thought out, they'll be talking about it with glee. While, and I just gestured towards the trees, how many can say that they had a full-fledged party within the feywild while being completely protected from any of the things that actually can happen within the feywild? My siblings and I managed to make it all seem like it was part of the plan.
And besides, anyone who needs to restore their name, it was that lady that has definitely gotten drunk and then attacked another person.
That was rather irregular. All right. All right, you're right. That was a pretty awesome party.
Well, let us pull out the history books. Did you hear that, dear brother?
Oh,
Almost 30 years old. Actually, I might be 30 years old, but look at my
You're 29.
20. I'm 20, almost 30 years old. And I have a witness. For once in my life, my grandfather has said that I am right. And I will nod to Cassius and bow deeply. And obviously it's full of sarcasm, but you know, it's there
Mhm.
as I bow to my grandfather, who in 3 decades I've been right once.
Sin knows how to weaponize manners.
Mhm. I'll definitely give a heartfelt nod.
You know,
And
he's
like-
actually kind of smiling in response to that because he taught you that. He did. It might be biting him in the butt right now, but he did teach you that. He's kind of proud of you. He's not going to say it, but you can see it on his face.
So obviously things did not go the way you wanted. A nice little conversation would not have scared me off and could have possibly prepared me to handle things slightly differently than I had. It's not never been your exact forte. But what can we do from here?
That is not for you to worry about.
Now, despite the past, I still do use our name because, well, whether we like it or not, I am a part of this family. We are, I believe, in the nearest future, going to travel back to our other brother's city of Luster. I don't know whether you would have any desire to either travel with or send a message along, open any negotiations with an Afriti queen. There are many.
We'll send a gift along with you and a letter.
there are many things that we could do to increase the name of Trisrael.
And he'll like bodily turn to you and put a hand on your shoulder. I think that alone was more than what you owed me. And I thank you for it. And you can tell he's just swallowing his pride to say this, but he's saying it.
I will say thank you, and I will give him a proper and respectful, I'll not, not deeply. I mean, we're not at court or any of that kind of stuff. I'm not certain when we're heading out, but I will give you fair warning. And
your mother, she would be most put out if she didn't get to say goodbye to you.
Oh, that's a whole nother thing. I will certainly make sure I do a proper departure. But it is, and like he starts talking and has to like stop and reorder his thoughts. A lot has happened this evening, and there's much to think on. So I am going to turn in, grandfather, brother, and I will head up the stairs.
Okay.
I'll follow suit, and as we're walking up, that was not an illusion. It was actually your grandfather.
I know how to read him. He's not always the best at keeping his true feelings hidden. I poke his ire easily, so I've had to tell myself against him many a times.
I can definitely tell he's a smart man, so a lot of thoughts may be flying through his head.
Well, intelligence is something that my grandfather cares about, and it's not something that I've been blessed with a lot of. So, and he, likes to remind me of that, or at least did. He's apparently getting a little bit better at, being civil towards me. Only time will tell what our future is like.
Well,
apparently there's a bit of an issue in Unga's room, and I kind of like whisper, Sheldon might be a warlock.
yeah, I think I heard something earlier.
So as we head up the stairs and come down the hallway, I don't know if there was a long conversation, but two parties, so I don't know where Prudence is at this point in time, whether she's still talking to Sheldon, but if not, or if she's still there, like we'll poke her, or I'll at least poke my head in and see what's going on.
Prudence is actually just heading into her room, and if your grandfather is within sight, she's going to make a point of yawning very deeply. But otherwise is going to be going to bed. And she'll nod at you. Did you have a good night at the party?
Party was wonderful.
We'll need to talk in the morning about something else that happened at the party.
Sure. Always enjoy talking with you, dear sister.
You may not enjoy this one.
Sheldon, okay?
Just with Unga, that's all. Bit of concern, but nothing we can't manage.
Well, when we are together, there's nothing we can't manage. And I just, give you the most heartfelt smile.
You are great.
Thank you.
With or without anyone's approval.
Now, I've had to come to terms with that a long time ago. There's being here, and he just kind of like, looks around over his head. There's feelings, there are insecurities that live within these walls. But I am not a young child anymore. You know, I've grown into my own and done things on my own. So he needs to learn that.
He does. So don't worry too much if he gets a little kick in the pants in the morning.
We had some words this evening, and I nearly fell on my rump when he actually said I was right.
Oh,
So perhaps, hundreds of years, elves can still learn and grow and become better people.
well, we love some good character development, don't we?
Indeed. Well, I'm going to turn in as long as there's nothing else that you need. There, brother. I'll lean towards Cassius, your sister, turn towards Prudence, and I'll just, continue on down the hall to my room.
Okay, Unga.
Mhm.
Yes.
You're walking through the woods, and it gets pretty late by the time Lurza comes out of the tree line to walk beside you, and she doesn't say anything at first. You can tell she's kind of like trying to work herself up to it.
I was wondering when you were going to show yourself.
You knew I was here?
Yeah, Sin saw you.
I need help.
What's going on?
Well, so we've been slowly moving the kids back to the village, but we still spend some nights at the ship because we're kind of used to it and it's where all our stuff is. And last night, some really weird things happened.
Yeah, a lot of weird things happened last night. Did you meet a hag too?
No? Maybe. What's a hag?
They're like old ladies with gray fingers, and they like to play pranks, apparently.
Oh. Well, I don't think this was a prank. So Kota might have gotten kidnapped by a tree.
Oh.
Yeah. And, the grown-ups are grown-ups, and they're all strong and things, but they're also still recovering from having been frozen for a really long time. And I wasn't able to stop the tree from taking him, so I don't think I can go get him back by myself. But you're really strong. You fought that Sphinx, and you saved Mom and the other chieftain, and she looks up at you. I need you to help me get Kota back.
I'll turn that tree into kindling.
I know.
But after that, Sin or Prudence are probably gonna want to set it on fire. So let me know which way the tree went and go back and get the others. You're gonna have to go bother wake the house if you have to. But I don't want them to get away. And Prudence will be able to find me, I'm sure.
Okay, I can find the house in the dark. I couldn't find the tree in the dark. So it's that way. And she points.
Where did the tree take Coda from?
From the ship.
From the ship?
In that direction. And she's pointing east.
Yeah. So give me a landmark from the ship. so that I know where to look for the tracks.
Okay. So there's the ship, and then it's inland from there toward the windmill.
Okay. So Unga will take off in a sprint.
And then she'll head back to the house. And it's a little past midnight by the time she gets there and starts knocking on doors. You guys do get the benefit of a long rest. I'm not going to take that from you. But she comes down the hall banging pots and pans. Hello, hello, hello. This is Lurza. I need help. Clang, clang.
Get up and go answer the door, I guess.
Too
She's
loud.
just marching back and forth down the hallway with her pots and pans, and like Sheldon's peeking out of Unga's door, and then there's a bear head peeking out of Unga's door. And like Theodonis opening the door of his office like a low blood pressure overlord.
Lurza, why are you here banging pots and pans in the middle of the night up and down the hall?
And she tosses them over her shoulders, and she's like, there was a kidnapping. Unga already went to go and try and find the thing
Who?
that did the kidnapping. Oh, it was a tree.
A tree was kidnapped.
Yes. No. No. It was a boy named Kota from the village. He's 7.
The tree took the child?
Yes.
And it moved.
Yeah. He
Okay.
was walking around on these spindly little roots and things.
Okay. How big of a tree? Like a tree-sized tree or like
Yes.
a bonsai-sized tree?
No, like a tree-sized tree. Like it was a tree. Like a big thorny tree with needles and stuff and a big barky mouth, and it just kind of like went chomp chomp, and I think there were some squirrels stuck to its roots, like impaled and things. It didn't impale Kota. I think I'd think he was dead if it had done that, but it took him.
All right. Where's Unga?
He ran off after the tree.
Okay, so we don't need to tell him. Give us 5 minutes to get ourselves together, and we will come out and head out.
And Theodonis, on seeing that Prudence is handling the situation, that there are no longer pots and pans being banged in his hallway, goes back into his office because he doesn't want to piss you off.
I was fully expecting, him to, come out of the room with like curlers in his hair, like,
So yeah, Prudence will gather all her stuff and any of Unga's stuff that he doesn't have, since he just kind of jumped out the window. So that way he can have his stuff.
Yes, it's a good idea.
She'll encourage Sheldon to carry what he can, and then she'll take whatever he can't. Cassios and Gleason, we need to get going quickly and expediently.
Are there any are there servants that are here in the middle of the night in case somebody needs something?
Yes.
I go to one and I ask that a message be passed to Talus when she wakes that we headed out.
Talus is already awake.
Oh, okay,
And
never
hears you
mind.
saying this, and we'll acknowledge that.
Okay,
There were pots and pans.
I wasn't thinking. It's been a long day in the real world.
Yeah.
Absolutely understandable. The real world is always a long day. So yes, you are. Oh, yes, you are. That like word gets around. Everybody knows what's going on. That you guys are gonna go and handle the situation.
So what I'll do is cast a ritual Phantom Steed, and to make an equine large beast. But if you would allow it, instead of like summoning a horse, I would enjoy it if like the rest of Cassios became a centaur fully, you
Oh,
know,
absolutely flavor it that way if that is what you desire to do.
and then tell hop on, let's go.
All right. And we'll just do this real quick. And Prudence snaps her fingers, but instead of like a normal snap, it's almost like you hear like a lock knocking, followed by like the dissonance of thunder, and all the shadows invert for like a split second, and all of us have passed without trace.
Oh, poggers.
Wow.
Poggers, yes.
That I basically don't make any sound at that point in time.
Yep. That way we don't break the rest of the house, and that way we can move quickly and quietly through any of the terrain that we need to move through.
Sheldon takes a moment to look around at all of you, because none of you are as big as Unga, and who is he gonna backpack with?
Yeah, not gonna be me.
Oh, he'll just come along. It's fine. He might grumble, but he will come along. Unga, give me your nature checks.
All right.
The survival.
Nature or survival?
The survival.
All right. Oh, that's not bad. 24.
Oh, no, 24 is far from bad, dear God. So with the 24, you are able to very easily pick up the trail where this tree left, all the way to the fairy ring it crawled out of.
Okay, I'm gonna leave visible signs so that it's easy to follow.
Okay, what do these look like?
I'm kind of annoyed at a tree right now, so I'm gonna slice, mostly slice through tree branches as I go, so they crack and hang down and can see that it's been recently split.
Okay.
I might even do a couple like X's.
So you guys get like the Fern Gully Trail to follow. You reach the edge of this fairy ring, and it's just mushrooms in a circle, and they're all colorful. And it's kind of like shimmering on the inside, but you can tell from the way that the tree moved through this area that it definitely passed into this circle. Are you going to just go, or are you going to wait?
I'm going to draw an arrow on the ground with my axe, pointing to the circle, and then I'll hop through.
Okay. You find yourself in some pretty dense woods that are not the woods that you were in before you entered. It is very dark here. All of the trees are covered in briars. Some of them bear different colored roses. And very red apples as well from the same trees, like these same thorny trees. They just hang. And it's like the black apples from the forest that you were in previously, except these are too red. Like they're exactly what you would expect an apple to look like, shining scarlet. But they're almost too perfect. Like they must be made of wax or something. You wouldn't want to take a bite out of one of them because it's the perfect specimen of an apple. Like they don't grow like that.
Yeah, I kind of want to take a bite out of one because you said I don't. All right, I'll continue leaving signs of my passage for the rest to follow me.
Okay. So are you continuing to mark up the trees?
Yes.
Okay. So you travel, and the destruction that the tree made can be seen. At one point, you find the corpse of a dead rabbit, just kind of like trodden underfoot, and it's definitely been impaled. That's what you can tell at a glance. Like there was definitely a branch through it at one point.
Huh. Gives me pause for a moment. I wonder why this tree is so angry. What he wants with the child. And I keep moving.
Okay. So the rest of you were left a pretty clear trail to follow, and you are easily able to make it to the fairy ring without too much hassle. He made very clear marks. You're able to follow those. The question is, do you all go in?
Oh yeah.
We're following Unga. We can't leave him to whatever fate is out there. Have to go.
Mhm.
And
Absolutely.
Lurza wouldn't even wait for you guys to make up your minds about that. She's already jumping in, so all right. Then I will describe these things and realize that you guys are seeing them a little bit after Unga does because he has a head start. So there are, like the trees, the apple trees with all the briars and stuff. And then Unga, after a while traveling through this wood, you continue to see the signs of the big tree monster's passage, and a curtain. Just this odd shimmering curtain of magic that bisects the woods. There are still more trees on the other side of it. It's just across, leading into an even bigger tree in front of it that appears to have like this open knot that's large enough that you could step into it. And from where you're standing, it's very dark on the inside.
Is it big enough for the tree to go through?
Yes.
And is that where it seems to be leading?
Yep.
Then I will follow.
Passing through the curtain?
I will pass through the curtain.
When you pass through the curtain, you get younger. Describe what 10-year-old Unga looks like.
Oh. Is it me physically younger, or is it me
Yes.
when I was 10?
Oh. No, it's you when you were 10.
Okay. So actually, he looks. He's probably at 10. He was probably, he would have been dirty and dressed in rags, long shaggy hair, and even at 10, he was still very muscular and broad and tall. So he could probably pass for a human of like 16 or 17 easily. Except for his eyes. His eyes still looks young then.
Oh, my heart. Okay. So yeah, 10-year-old Unga going into this tree. It's so while you no, not you. You don't have disadvantage on strength checks as a 10-year-old because you look more like a teenager as a 10-year-old. So you're just good. You're the same. But in the tree, there's just this circle of wind on the inside, and it goes from about halfway up to the top. But you can see the top of this tree is open and lets out into another platform if you can get up there. But it's just you can see the furrows in the wall where the tree came in here and climbed its way up. And hanging from one of the interior branches, because there are a couple of branches sticking out on the inside of this tree, like they've grown inward on accident. There's like a stuffed, what looks to be a dinosaur almost, just hanging from it, like between the sticks.
I will examine the dinosaur.
It's got orcish teeth marks on it.
I'll put it in my belt at the small of my back, and I'll use the furrows as handholds to climb.
Okay. Give me athletics.
Ooh, that's a 10.
Okay, you're having a little bit of trouble getting up through this tree.
That was also a crit fail, if that matters to you.
Yeah, it matters. All right. Well, in that case, you guys come to the magical curtain.
Rewind real quick when we get through and there's the perfect apples and what have you.
Yes.
Could I mage hand one down?
Yeah.
Nothing happens. No.
No, I mean, there's no recourse. They're not attacking you or anything, but you
Okay.
now have this eerily perfect apple in your mage hand.
Okay. Put it in my bag. I might eat it.
I am telling you, it is giving you bad news vibes. Like, you don't want to eat this apple. You can do it anyway if you want to, but like, it failed the vibe check.
Okay.
So yeah, curtain of magic.
Yeah.
Do we see Unga on the other side?
No, Unga's on the inside of the tree, and it's very dark in there. You can't see him from here.
But markings say he went this way.
Markings say he went this way,
And I'm going.
and you're 10. You go through the curtain, and you are reverted to your 10-year-old self.
Would it affect the illusion that's on me, or
No?
Okay, okay. I know you're saying no, but like I kind of I think this will be funny.
Okay.
Like I look
Yeah,
like
you can veto that no if you want to, by all means.
cool. So as I pass through, I'm a younger 10-year-old Cassios, and like the image of this, big centaur is just walking through, and now I kind of look like a newborn horse galloping my way through,
Yeah, I think Prudence is like all of a sudden her entire clothing changes. Like she wears lots of bright colors and she has these wings that are like they're grown in a little bit, but like the muscle for flapping isn't there. So they're more useful for gliding. And her tail is very long and spindly compared to her body, and two little nubs for horns that aren't really developed yet. And she's got like these fangs that still kind of poke out of her mouth because she hasn't grown into those either. And you see that she wears like lots of like very cheap and naturally made jewelry, and she has this pendant that's like amber but it has an eyeball in it, and she's like still very like creepy but colorful creepy now. Coarse hair with feathers and beads in it, probably braided into lots of different braids that clack together as she moves around and jostles on this baby centaur.
So so this affects clothing as well.
Yes.
In that case, yeah, a younger Cassius would also be the most clothes you guys have ever seen him.
Well, we all know that the juvenile goths have much brighter plumage so that their grown-ups don't step on them on accident.
When Sin steps through, whatever the prim and proper fashion, would be, from 20 years ago, that's exactly what you see. And, more of his elfish features are there, the fullness of his human nature didn't really come in until, teenage years. So he did look more elven than, more gaunt, if you will, than I guess he normally is now. But the thing that is most apparent is there is no confidence in his demeanor. His shoulders are slumped. He's looking down at the ground. You can see pretty much defeat all over his face.
And meanwhile, Lurza is pretty much exactly the same, like just a little smaller. And she's like got her arms folded and is continuing to walk straight forward, and she looks mad.
So are we like mentally kids now too?
Yeah.
Okay, so Prudence is gonna like kind of try to jump and glide down off the horse and go beside Lurza and like hand her the branch staff that she's holding. She's like, this is good for hitting people with.
Good. I need something to hit people with.
Yeah, I've got magic too. And she like produces this fire that's like way too big for her body size when she produces flame.
Good. That'll be useful against the tree.
That's what I was thinking too. Yes, we definitely need that. Sin, do we know each other still?
Yes, you still know each other.
Sin, why do you look so sad?
I can do fire too.
Then you should be happy. Do your fire and be happy.
What are we setting on fire?
A tree. Just
Not this tree.
reach down inside you and feel something, but make it big and feely and like bright. And the fire will just come out. It'll be great.
But there's a lot of trees. Which one are we setting on fire?
The bad one, the one that took the kid.
Where is it?
I don't know. We're going to find it though. Right, Cassios?
Yeah. As you guys are like looking my direction, I'm noticing. And I'm kind of hiding behind a tree real fast.
Why? And she looks at Lurza. Why are
Mm.
they so sad?
And as I'm like just concentrating on Phantom Steed image, like let's go.
Yeah, let's
Beat you
go.
up
We
and
gotta
give you
go.
something to be sad about.
And I just gallop my way out.
Come on, we gotta go set a tree on fire. Maybe a whole forest. We'll figure that out when we get there.
So you guys get into the tree, the big hollowed out one, just in time to find Dunga making another attempt to climb it. If you would like to roll again.
How strong is the wind?
It's pretty strong. Like, too strong to fly in.
And but it's pushing up.
No.
Is it pushing down?
Yes.
Okay. So everyone just showed up.
Yes.
All right. So I tried climbing up there, but the wind is really strong.
I could try to punch it.
How far up is the thing?
It's about 90 feet.
Maybe these will help.
Like ledges or anything?
There are pretty large branches at 30 and 60 feet.
Oh, you know what?
And-
I forgot something.
What's that?
You have a climb speed?
I have a climb speed.
Dang, I was just
Does anybody have any rope or something?
I have claws.
I'm going to justify that with you we're
Yeah.
trying to use the hand that you have again since you're your 10-year-old self for
Yeah.
a minute and forgot that you could climb really well. I don't know. But you know now. And it can very much kick in. I won't make you roll again to get up there, but everybody else still has to.
Well, if someone gives me a rope, I will take the end of the rope in my teeth.
No, just give me the rope.
Here you go.
And there's not much light here, but the darkness just kind of coalesces around me, and I misty step up to the branch at 30 feet.
Oh, that's really cool. I can do that too. And she just poof, like Nightcrawler style, and poof, right next to
Yeah.
you.
I'm kind of talking to myself like, I think a mage hand would have sufficed, but yeah, that's cool.
I look at Cassio expectantly.
Unga, hi.
Aren't you gonna magic up there too?
I'll wait.
Wait for what?
I throw the end of the rope down.
Yeah. So I attempt climbing using the rope, but the entire time, I'm really maintaining concentration on my Phantom Steed still, even though I'm climbing up.
When you go to like climb like hand over hand or whatever, I just put
Yeah.
my hands over top of your hands and kind of push them down gently, and take the rope and tie it around your waist.
Oh.
Here, and just hold on here. Just wait, and then I scurry up the side of the tree like a squirrel.
Do you put Sheldon back on first?
I will put the Sheldon back. Well, if he's 10, he's 10 too, he's much smaller.
So you've got like mini crab and then mini crab.
Yeah. He
Crab stack.
this is like before he had his growth spurt.
We got a crabception going on.
We
Yeah.
do. So like he's hanging from my belt, and the other crab is, and Shelly's hanging from him.
Nice.
And I just scurry up like a squirrel. When I get to the top, I'll just begin heaving Cassio up.
So
Larza has clearly taken this as a challenge and is trying to scramble the same way and not having quite the same results.
Yeah, so I'm having a mental image of like a horse being yanked up.
So when Unga begins pulling Cassius up, I lean into Prudence. That's really good that Unga's helping, because I really thought that if we were going to hold the rope and Cassius pulled too hard, we're going to fall down.
Oh, I was just going to tie a rope around your waist and shove you off, and then you guys would equalize.
Oh.
Wouldn't they both be stuck in the middle?
I mean, yeah, but then you pull them up one at a time, and they just pull themselves up, but they're halfway there, so it works.
Is the current still, as hard from 30 feet up?
Harder.
Hmm.
It gets worse the further up you go.
Can we see what is, beyond?
I mean, you can tell that there's some plant matter hanging over the top there, so you can assume that there is grass up at the top and another platform, but it's hard. Like you can see night sky.
Could I cast magic missile and use my darts to make like little imprints to kind of make a climbing surface?
That is a good question.
If the answer is no, it's fine. But
Yeah, I'm gonna go with no, because magic missile bypasses shield spells and stuff, and it always hits. So I don't I always imagined that it was doing like less physical damage and more like I'm going to hurt your soul kind of damage. I don't know. That's just how it makes sense in my head. So I don't know that it would actually make a mark on wood.
Okay, not a problem.
Okay.
All right. Well, I will expend another second level spell to Misty Step up.
Okay. And you're at the 60-foot mark.
Yep, I will too.
I believe you pulled Cassius all the way up, Unga.
Yes.
If you would like to lower the rope again for one of your siblings at the 60-foot mark, that's okay. Larza is making headway. She's just doing it slowly.
Yeah, I will definitely do that.
And I would. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I think Unga is actually just going to rappel after he ties it off. He's going to rappel down the side and help Cassio tie it, and then he'll just carry back up.
Cool. Well, in that case, you guys are a little bit at a time able to make it all the way up to the top. And there's another curtain up here. It's hanging around the outside of where you pop up. And on the top, there's a field of grass, and it's just like this bare meadow, kind of a valley. There's hills on either side, some trees around the edges, and then one big tree just kind of tearing things up and making a huge mess in the middle. And it's it's a tree, right? It's got like the big branches. It's got dead animals kind of hanging off from parts of it that have been sort of impaled on it. Like there's a bird that's on one of like the arm limbs. Its wings are like just limp there. There's a couple rabbits on the lower branches. It's even got what appears to be a dog attached to it somewhere. Like it's just kind of like it just picked these things up as it was monstering through. You do, however, see the orc child. He's just sleeping, like eyes closed, tangled up in the vines near the creature's head. Motionless, but alive.
Does it appear like, I don't know if there's a check to look, but does it appear that the child is a captive, like, Lurza said, or is it appearing some other direction? Is it?
Well, it's hard to tell with him asleep like that, but he is bound in the vines. So, and the tree appears to be going toward a house at the end of the valley. Like a big manor house built into the wall of the valley.
How far away is it?
Pretty far, like 300 feet probably.
Prudence.
Mm.
If we go through this curtain again, are we gonna be babies?
I don't know. Do I know actually, DM?
Make an Arcana check.
Okay, Arcana. I'm trained in this. That is 23.
It is the same spell. This one is backwards.
Okay. No, we're going to turn into grown-ups again, which is probably good because right now I'm just trying to resist the urge not to set the thing on fire right now.
I don't think this isn't a regular curtain. I don't think you can set it on fire.
No, I mean, I want to go run and set the tree on fire.
Well, you should hold on to that urge as I step through the curtain.
And you're big Unga again.
And Prudence will go through, and all of her colorful clothes are mostly gone. It's just blue and black now. And she's like, oh, that was very interesting. I haven't felt those feelings in a long time.
Yeah. Through as well, and it's just like his shoulders, fall back into the natural posture that anyone with confidence, has. The smile returns to his face. The confidence is there. It's not the defeated child that he was when he was young.
Mm. And as Cassios steps through, he's like, why am I still in this? Stops concentrating on Phantom Speed.
Should we make haste towards
I'm already sprinting that way.
Okay, I guess that.
Yeah. Prudence, is there still wind? Like, can I not fly?
Oh, you can fly now.
Okay, she's gonna kind of take off. It's a little awkward because she's getting used to having all those muscles developed again. And she will try to fly up to where the orc child is because her priority is get the kid out and then we can trash the thing.
Okay. At this point, I am going to ask for initiative.
Okay.
Right.
That's a 22.
17.
17 as well. But if you want to go first, I'm fine with that.
1%.
Are you going to trash the thing?
What did I hear from you, Sen?
15.
15.
Yep.
Okay, Unga.
Charging the tree.
Okay. So yeah, you are able to close the distance between you fairly quickly. Actually, the tree is not that far into the valley. It's the house that's far away.
So I don't know what kind of check you want to make this, but I want to. I'm going. When I say charge the tree, I am then going to run up the tree, heading
Okay.
straight for the child. So
Let's make that acrobatics.
all right. So I have a 30. I got a 35 move. So if I have to dash, I'll dash.
Okay, you do not have to dash. I will go ahead and let you take your action when you get
Okay.
there.
I rolled an 11, so I'm going to spend my inspiration to reroll
Okay.
that and see if we can't do better. Oh, we did a lot better. 22.
That is much better. Yes, you managed to run up the side of this tree. However, the child is pretty bound up in vines, and the vines are attached to the tree, so you get to him. It's going to take you another round to get him free.
Okay, and that's what I'll start tearing into the vines.
Prudence.
Prudence will fly up to where Unga is, and am I allowed an action?
Yes.
Can I use primal savagery to basically let Unga just have the kid now?
Oh, wait a minute. If I'm up to him and I have an action, there is a thing I would like to try and do.
Okay.
I want to use conjure animals to conjure as many woodpeckers as I can.
Oh my god, okay. So that will go off at the beginning of your next turn because
Okay.
that'll give you time to look up how many woodpeckers that is.
Well, woodpeckers is not a stat, so
I
I know. Usually, you can do 8 of the small animals.
Okay, so 8 woodpeckers is good.
Yes.
So yeah,
I'm gonna have to say the word woodpecker so many times in this stream, and it's really going to challenge me not to laugh, but I think I can do it.
Little giggling's okay.
Cassius.
Well, isn't this episode brought to you by, your inner child?
Yeah.
It's true. It's true. Yeah, Cassius.
Yeah. What I'm gonna do is do a firebolt on the vines to try to without trying to harm the child.
Okay.
I got anything. Yeah, I rolled a 15 for attack.
That does not hit.
Okay. And I will end my turn.
Sin.
Can I get to within 30 feet of it?
Yes. You're already within 30 feet of it.
All right. So you would say, as this thing is a tree creature, it is definitely a plant,
Yes.
and it is obvious that we wish to have this thing annihilated.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, like, the rest of the party seems to have made their mind up. Yeah.
All right. Well, then I will call forth the darkness around me, and conjure it into a ray, and it can make a Constitution saving throw at disadvantage.
That's gonna be a 10, sir.
All right. It takes 72 points of necrotic damage.
Holy crap. Okay.
Holy shit.
I release a 5th level blight, and as it is a plant creature, it automatically takes max damage.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you sure did. I mean, it's still up, but that it's pretty hurt. Okay. The tree, having been massively hurt, stops going toward the house, pulls the thorns inward, and it starts to shake a little bit, and then they just spray everywhere, and I'm gonna need everybody to make dex saves.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say that.
18.
12.
Woo-hoo-hoo! That is a natural 20.
Nice.
Oh my god, my die got stuck on the 20 and then flipped to the 10. That's a 16.
Okay. Well, Prudence is the only one that gets hit. So that's going to be 25 piercing damage for Prudence and only 12 for everyone
Wow.
else.
Ouch.
Lurza throws a rock. And does actually ping with the rock. And then it's Unga's turn again.
All right, so I command the woodpeckers to peck wood.
Yep, that is sure a thing that you do. Yep. I'm just gonna. Is there a stat block for a small bird, or are we just making up how much damage mass woodpeckers do to a tree?
I think the GM will have to make up how much.
Okay, cool. I'm
I
going
don't
to
know, I-
rule that I'm gonna roll this
I mean,
die.
honestly, woodpeckers are probably CR zeros, so
Okay, cool.
I'd say 4 die 4 for the swarm of woodpeckers, would be appropriate, but
Yeah, that is 10 damage from the swarm of woodpeckers. What else you doing, Unga?
I will hunter's mark this tree. And then I will also begin chopping at it. And I have my nifty great axe of hunter's mark to hold my hunter's mark for me. That's a 24 to hit.
Oh, that hits.
For 17 points of damage. Oh, 17 plus a die 6. That's right. So 21 points of damage, and I'll do that again. Where are those 20s at now? Son of a monkey's uncle.
It is now bloodied.
All right, so that is going to be another 11. And that's all I got. Just slashing away and having the woodpeckers try and break the work child free.
Prudence.
Okay, so Prudence is hurt, but is going to now the child is free, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm just
Does Unga
imagining
have a
like
child?
Unga hacking away with the axe in one arm and like cradling this child in the other.
Okay. Prudence will offer to take the child from Unga to fly away. Do you want me to take him?
That would be great.
All right. So she will scoop the child under one arm, and as she's flying back, boom, with a guiding bolt.
Okay.
So I have to click that in my thing. I think my free casts are just first level. So that is an 18 to hit.
That hits.
Okay. It takes 12 radiant damage and is glowing, giving the next person advantage on their attack roll. And then as my bonus action, I want to take a stance of the chalice with my starry form.
Okay.
So I can heal better. So that's all I've got.
Cassius.
All righty, Will. Thank you for the advantage. I'm gonna move up a bit just to stay within range, and this time with feeling, firebolt one more time. Does a 27 hit?
Oh, a 27 hella hits.
All right. I rolled. You gotta be kidding me, but okay, I rolled 4 fire damage. Huzzah!
Which proceeds to turn into 8 fire damage because you have found a weakness.
Poggers my doggers, but off 2d10, I expected a little better numbers.
It's fair. That is absolutely fair. I would have been disappointed with that roll too, truth be told. Sin, you're up.
How is this thing looking?
Pretty damn battered. It's down to about a quarter of its health.
Then I will finish it off, or hopefully so. It can make another Constitution saving throw at disadvantage.
2.
All right. So
It works.
I will hit a blight for another 64 necrotic damage.
Right.
Yeah. Describe this.
So basically, it's meant to like wither. Plants, be they magical or not. So you just watch as whatever vibrance this thing has, as it just kind of everything becomes like brittle and dry. Any fluids it might have, are just kind of pulled out and leak into the ground as this ray hits it, and it just kind of collapses into quite dust, but like little shrivels of wooden splinters.
So, Tech, legitimate question: how long you been waiting to fight a plant?
I just took it blight because as a shadow sorcerer, it seems necrotic damage seemed to really tie in. I throw a lot of fire.
Completely.
When you put blight on your spell list, yeah, it's a thing. You want to fight a plant. I'm okay with it not.
Super cool.
It is not the first time Sin has blighted it. This
Nope.
is just one of the cooler times.
Oh yeah.
So it is now just you guys, the dead tree, the sleeping child, and the manor house at the end of the valley.
Is Kota okay?
Yeah, he's fine.
I'm asking the party.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
He seems well, I think, just asleep. However, can I just not waste my chalice thing, and I'll cure wounds myself because I need that.
Larza, you should take Coda back.
Shouldn't we all stay together for now until we figure out what's going on here?
Well, the tree was taking the child that way. I don't think we should deliver the child to where the tree intended.
Well, I mean,
Larza straightens up. I can stay with him.
Clearly, that tree was a creature of malice.
Yes.
Are you going to be all right in a strange dimension?
Well, there doesn't seem to be anything super dangerous out here, and he's going to be scared when he wakes up, and I don't think he should be going in there either, so yes.
I kind of give her like a punch/shove in the shoulder. She's Blackleaf. She'll be fine.
Well,
She only staggers a little bit.
We could leave Sheldon here. I could call forth Dusk, and between the two of them, they could watch until we get back.
I wouldn't say no to help.
They should go back through this. They should go back the way we came.
Yes, they probably should.
Getting
Larza,
down should be easier with the ropes than going up.
I have learned watching you guys that it isn't cowardice to leave when you have someone to protect.
right. Also, no names. Do not tell anything your name. Do not tell anything his name.
Okay.
Do not agree to anything. Do not accept a gift.
Okay.
Just go straight back.
Okay.
As they're walking off, you hear Sheldon, "Don't worry about this. I got you covered. I'm a warlock now."
Warlock. And like this is just the conversation they're having as they go. And so it is now the four of you staring down this manor.
Is it like a proper like Sin style manor? Is it a
Yes.
different architecture style? Is it like
It's definitely not elven. It's I'm trying to think of a good example without resorting to Pokemon. There's pillars in the front, and it's got a nice front door, and it looks like something that you would find in a nice human city.
okay?
Except for it's like carved into the cliff face, you said, right?
Yes, it is. It's like a facade in front of the cliff face
Hmm.
into the stone. Like the interior of the building is inside the mountain valley thing cliff. Right.
I will start doing the tech magics. If we're gonna be before we walk in this.
Yeah. Lots.
Is Prudence, is your spell still active?
The chalice, or
The cast without a trace.
I I don't know. That depends how long we've been going. It lasts for up to nope, that's plant growth.
I think
That's
it's an
plant-
hour.
Yeah, so I'm not sure how long we've been at all of this. It lasts up to an hour. So
Has it been an hour since we left the Trisrell estate?
yeah, it should still be up.
I could scout ahead if you wanted. I can see in the dark, and I'm normally quite stealthy, and your spell has only made me exceptionally more so.
If you're willing and you can be careful.
I will slink off into the shadows.
All right, you slink off into the shadows.
Do you want a stealth roll?
I'm not even gonna make you roll it. I'm like, just you've got pass without trace. Your stealth is incredibly high to begin with.
It would be a plus 17 to whatever I roll. So,
Yeah, you're good. You're fine.
It's looks to be a human-esque manor.
Yes.
What?
There's a couple windows, but they're high up.
How high up?
40 feet.
Let's see here. Any tricks?
2 windows like eyes framing the mouth that is the door.
Anything to the sides?
I mean, there's the pillars, and you notice as you get closer that they are stuck out a little bit from the house. Like there's an awning,
Mm-hmm.
And then marble floor along the front.
So if there's an awning, could I misty step up to the awning and look in the window?
I was not imagining that the awning was below the window, but I can see that working really well, so I'll allow it.
Awesome. I do it.
Okay. So you can see inside the window just a little playroom. There's a carpet, like it's a round carpet. It's got colors on it and like the alphabet around the outside. There's a little hearth in the corner that does not appear to be lit. You don't see anyone in the room, but you do see a bunch of toys. You see a dollhouse, a chest in one corner, a rocking horse, and the door that leads further into the house.
Okay. I will now have to shimmy down the pillar because
Easily slid.
all right, excellent. And I will come back and describe in as best detail as I can what I saw.
Dave, that is legitimately a little bit intimidating looking.
Mm-hmm.
That is actually because someone just turned off the light.
He's going for a cinematic effect.
Yeah.
It's working.
Sinister Dave has entered the fray.
I was like, oh great, here's Unga's deal. He has to chop off our heads.
That would be good timing.
Dark Garrett.
Well, the deal was no one he's related to and no one that was near him when he made the deal. So that pretty much meant everybody at the party was safe. All right, so I come back and I let you know that, there's apparently, some room set up as to, be like an ultimate kids playroom. And dollhouse, what have you.
Oh, I don't like that at all in the Feywild.
Did not see anyone moving about.
I don't like that even more.
Anything that's going to have a giant evil tree as your fetch minion, it's I doubt going to be something sunshine and rainbows.
And I wonder if there are more children there.
Didn't see any, but it's late. They could be asleep. There was definitely a door that led further in.
Well, we have questions. We should go ask.
DM.
Yes.
Would I know if there is anyone or any type of creature in particular that generally tends to have this sort of tree doing what happened. I'm trained in religion, nature, and arcana. So like that's kind of all the magic school sorts of things.
So the tree that did the kidnapping was definitely grown specifically to do that, but you have actually never seen a tree like that before, and you kind of grew up around here. Like you've got a pretty decent idea, like somebody grew that tree specifically to kidnap children.
Don't like that. Okay. So yeah, she'll go with everybody else to the front door, I guess, if we're going to the front door.
Avon calling.
So you go to the front door. What do you do? It's painted blue, by the way, with like two of the, the press latches and not knobs.
Okay.
Do Cassios, you still have this magic active, right? Do you see any particular schools of magic we should be aware of? What do your centaur eyes see?
There's a ton of transmutation going on here.
So yeah, I explained there's a load of transmutation. In fact, it's like bright, like almost like infrared vision. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh god, it's everywhere.
Okay.
So does that mean what we're seeing used to be something else?
Oh, most definitely. Oh.
So are we doing this diplomatically, or are we just storming the castle? Because if we're doing this diplomatically, we are about to go into a party or something. I would not be surprised. This is the Feywild. No names.
Feywild. That's right.
I mean, we have the ability to do diplomacy, but also have the ability to, go in fires are burning.
Well, I mean, they did come to our world and steal one of ours.
They did, which is very much against the way the Feywild is supposed to work.
So are we saying we should go in and take one of them?
I mean, technically, since we took back what was ours, we shouldn't, or we wouldn't, because then we would owe. There's a lot of specific rules.
So are we having this discussion back where we were, or as we're moving forward,
En route.
or just
I would imagine. I would imagine en route.
Yeah, probably en route to the front.
Unga, this is somewhat your call. This is your kin that's been affected.
Yeah, Unga wants to try and kick in the door.
All right.
I'm okay with kicking in the door.
Yeah, you do that easily. I'm not even going to make you roll a check to do it. The doors open and you find yourselves in an entryway with like a checked hallway. It is hardly the sweeping staircase you would expect from a manor that looks like this, though. It is just a normal hallway with doors on either side. But standing in the middle of this hallway is a doll.
I really don't like that.
What kind of doll?
What?
What kind of doll?
So she is kind of like a stitched up doll, like a rag doll. Like she's got the smile on her face that doesn't move when she speaks. Button eyes, yarn hair, hands sort of folded in front of her, but they're like the little mitteny ones.
So
And she gives you a little bow and says, "We bid you welcome."
I was gonna ask when I look at this, do I detect any magic? But
We who?
The people that live here. And yes, you do detect magic. Like there's a lot of transmutation specifically on that doll.
oh man, everything. Oh wow. So who's head of this house?
Mary.
Like the conversation with Mary.
You could call her. She's not here right now.
Oh.
Pray tell, where is she at the moment?
And the doll will turn and point its whole mitten hand at a big oval mirror at the end of the hallway.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Does that mirror look at all like the mirrors from the temple, or is it different?
It's different. And
Okay.
it's just a normal wall mirror. It's pretty big though, like big enough that you could step through it if it were a doorway.
If it were a doorway.
If it were a doorway.
Huh.
Most people just call them, full length or body mirrors. It's a doorway mirror, of course.
Well, what shall we do, Unga? Do you want to wait on this Mary, or do we go in buns a glazing?
Oh, you can call her.
Will she come?
Yes.
All right.
How does
Mary.
one-
You got to say it 2 more times.
Ah, crap.
Oh, I know exactly what this is. I kind of had a feeling as soon as you said her name was Mary. Prudence. Let me think. What do you DM? I'm torn because part of me thinks Prudence would have 0 problems doing this, but part of me thinks Prudence would know exactly who this is and would know if this was a problem. Because like she has no problem with creepy people or scary people or.
Well, go ahead and give me an Arcana check, actually.
Okay. Because yeah, I'm kind of torn with Prudence particular as a character. 15.
Prudence, you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that that particular ritual only kicks in if you're on the prime material plane. You can do it here safely.
Okay. So Prudence will shout, Mary, Mary, Mary. I feel like it's the start of a bad poem.
The lights go out, leaving the hallway in darkness. The mirror shimmers with magic across the way, and given you still have detect magic up, Cassius, you can see the conjuration begin as the surface ripples, and she just kind of starts crawling out one hand at a time. You can see the ball joints connecting her hand to her arm. She just sort of crawls her way through the mirror down the wall and then rises as if pulled by strings to a standing position with her head tilted downward as if in a macabre facsimile of a bow.
I'll take things I wish I didn't see for 100.
And if you guys don't mind me calling it a little bit early tonight, I feel like that's a really good place
Yeah.
to drop.
Yeah, I think you're right there. All right. Well, thanks for running. Thanks everyone for playing as always, and of course, thank you everyone for watching. We'll be back next week with those bastards. We're getting close to the end. We only have 2 more sessions left. I can't wait to see where this goes. And until next time, stay nerdy.
Stay nerdy. Yeah.